Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Liberty's Edge watching the stars through the main view screen. He had been exploring space for 20 years, but this mission felt different. They were farther from Earth than any human had ever traveled before. "Captain, we're getting some strange readings," said Lisa Carter from her navigation station. She was young but smart, and Jake trusted her completely. "There's something big out there." Jake walked over to look at her screen. The sensors showed massive objects moving in space, much larger than anything they had seen before. "How big are we talking about, Lisa?" 12 ships, sir. Each one is at least 3 times the size of our ship." Lisa's voice was steady, but Jake could hear the worry in it. Tony Rodriguez looked up from his engineering station. He was a quiet man who knew every part of their ship better than anyone. "Captain, those ships are moving toward us. Fast." Amy Walsh turned from her communications station. She had short red hair and green eyes that always seemed to be thinking about something. "Sir, I'm picking up a transmission. It's not in any language our computers know." Dr. Kevin Barnes, their science officer, was already running scans. He was older than the rest of them, with gray hair and glasses that made him look like a teacher. "Captain, these ships are using technology I've never seen before. Their power readings are incredible." Jake felt his stomach tighten. They were supposed to be on a peaceful mission, exploring new star systems and looking for signs of life. They had found life, but maybe more than they could handle. "Put the transmission on speaker, Amy," Jake said. A deep, harsh voice filled the bridge. The words were strange, but their computer was working to translate them. After a few seconds, the translation came through clearly. "Unknown vessel, you have entered sacred space of the Corvan Empire. You will surrender immediately, or be destroyed." The crew looked at each other with wide eyes. Jake took a deep breath. This was not how he had hoped their first contact with aliens would go. "Amy, can we send a reply?" "Yes, sir. The computer has figured out their language." Jake thought carefully about what to say. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Earthship, Liberty's Edge. We come in peace. We didn't know this space belonged to anyone. We're explorers, not soldiers." The reply came back quickly, and the alien voice sounded angry. "You dare to speak as equals to the Corvan Empire? Your small ship will be taken. Your crew will be questioned. Resistance will mean death." On the main screen, Jake could see the alien ships getting closer. They looked like huge metal insects with sharp edges and glowing red lights. Each ship was black and covered in armor plating. "Captain," Dr. Barnes said, "I'm reading their ship designs. They're built for war, not exploration. These aliens have been fighting for a long time." "How long do we have before they reach us?" Jake asked. "About 10 minutes, Lisa answered. Jake looked around at his crew. They were all good people who had signed up to explore the stars, not to fight in a war. But now they were facing an enemy that seemed much stronger than them. "Tony, what do we have for weapons?" Tony's face was serious. "We have the standard defense systems that all Earthships carry, some plasma cannons and energy shields. But Captain, we're not a warship, we're explorers. Amy, try to send another message. Tell them we want to talk, not fight." Amy sent the message, but the reply came back even angrier than before. "Silence. You will prepare to be boarded. Any attempt to flee will result in your immediate destruction." The alien ships were getting closer now. Jake could see them clearly on the screen. They moved in perfect formation, like they had done this many times before. Each ship had large weapons pointing at the Liberty's Edge. "Captain," Dr. Barnes said, "I've been studying their approach. They're not expecting any real fight from us. Look at how they're moving. They think we're helpless." Jake studied the alien formation. Dr. Barnes was right. The ships were spread out, but not in a way that would protect them if something went wrong. They were being careless because they thought humans were weak. "Lisa, can we outrun them?" "Not in a straight line, sir, but our ship is smaller and faster at turning. We might be able to avoid them for a while." "Tony, what about our shields?" "They'll hold for a few hits, but not many. These alien weapons look very powerful." Jake made his decision. "We're not going to surrender to these bullies. Earth didn't send us out here to bow down to the first aliens we meet." The crew looked surprised. Amy spoke first. Captain, are you sure? There are 12 of them and only one of us. I know the odds, Jake said. But sometimes you have to stand up for what's right even when it's dangerous. Besides, Dr. Barnes is right. They think we're easy prey. Maybe we can surprise them. What's the plan, sir? Tony asked. We use our advantages. We're smaller, faster, and they don't know what we can do. Lisa, get ready to move us around in ways they won't expect. Tony, charge up all our weapons and shields. Amy, keep trying to record everything they say. Dr. Barnes, watch their tactics and look for weaknesses. The alien ships were almost on top of them now. The leadership sent another message. This is Admiral Zextar of the Corvin Empire. You have 30 seconds to shut down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Jake stood up straight. Amy, send this message. This is Captain Jake Morrison. Humans don't surrender to bullies. If you want our ship, you'll have to take it. There was silence for a moment. Then Admiral Zextar's voice came back, filled with rage. Foolish creatures, you dare to defy the Corvin Empire? We have ruled this space for 3,000 years. Your tiny ship will be crushed like an insect. All ships, they heard the Admiral command his fleet. Destroy the human vessel. Show them the price of defying the Empire. The alien ships started to glow as they charged their weapons. Jake looked at his crew one more time. They were scared, but they were ready to fight. Here we go, he said quietly. Let's show them what humans are made of. The first alien weapon blast lit up the space around them. Lisa Carter threw the Liberty's Edge into a wild spinning turn that no military handbook had ever taught. The plasma beam missed them by only a few meters. Nice flying, Lisa, Jake shouted. Over the noise of the engines, Dr. Barnes was watching his sensors carefully. Captain, look at this. Their weapons are powerful, but they fire in straight lines. They're not used to targets that move unpredictably. Another blast came at them, but Lisa was ready. She rolled the ship upside down and dove under the alien. Formation. The Corvin ships had to turn their massive hulls to follow, which took them several seconds. They're big and strong, but slow, Lisa said, breathing hard from the stress. It's like trying to catch a mouse with a baseball bat. Tony Rodriguez was busy at his station, watching the ship's systems. Captain, our shields are holding fine. Their weapons are meant to break through heavy armor, not to catch fast-moving targets. Amy Walsh looked up from her communication station. Sir, I'm hearing their radio chatter. They sound confused. One of them just asked, why won't it hold still? Jake almost smiled. These aliens had been ruling space for thousands of years, but they had never fought anyone who didn't follow their rules. Tony, what weapons do we have that they might not expect? Well, sir, Dr. Blake back on Earth gave us some experimental equipment. We have kinetic mines that can stick to enemy ships, and we have something called a quantum disruptor that can mess up their electronics. Let's try the mines first. The Liberty's Edge suddenly spun around and flew straight at the IAE nearest alien ship. The Corvin vessel started charging its main weapon, expecting the humans to break off their attack. Instead, Lisa flew even closer. Now, Tony. Jake ordered. 3 small mines shot out from their ship and attached themselves to the alien vessel's hull. The Corvin ship tried to shake them off, but the mines were designed to stick tight. Mines armed and ready, Captain. Detonate them. The explosions were small, but they were placed perfectly. The mines blew holes in the alien ship's armor and damaged its weapon systems. Sparks flew from the damaged areas and the ship began to drift. 1 down, 11 to go, Dr. Barnes said. Admiral Zextar's voice came over the radio and he sounded very angry. What kind of weapons are those? Our sensors didn't detect any missiles. Amy was listening to more of their chatter. Captain, they're calling us chaos fighters and mad warriors. I think we're scaring them. The alien ships tried to surround the Liberty's Edge, but Lisa kept moving in patterns that made no sense to them. She would fly straight at one ship, then suddenly turn and attack another. Sometimes she would flip the ship upside down just to confuse their targeting computers. Their computers are trying to predict where we'll go next, Dr. Barnes explained, but Lisa isn't following any pattern they understand. That's because I learned to fly in Earth's traffic, Lisa said with a grin. After dealing with rush hour in New York, These guys are easy. Tony fired the quantum disruptor at another alien ship. The weapon didn't cause an explosion, but suddenly, the Corvin vessel started spinning out of control. Its lights flickered and its engines shut down. "What did you do to them?" Dr. Barnes asked. "The disruptor scrambles their computer systems." Dr. Blake said it would work best on ships that rely too much on automation. Jake was starting to understand. These aliens had been so powerful for so long that they had forgotten how to really fight. Their ships were controlled by computers that expected enemies to behave in predictable ways. "Amy, what else are you hearing from them?" "They're asking each other what to do. It sounds like they've never had a target that fought back like this before." Another alien ship fired at them, but this time Lisa was ready for it. She used the ship's gravity generator to create a sudden turn that should have been impossible. The plasma beam went wide, and Lisa flew the Liberty's Edge right up under the alien vessel. "Mines away," Tony called out. This time they attached 4 mines to the ship's engine section. When they exploded, the alien vessel lost power and began drifting helplessly. "Captain," Dr. Barnes said, "I'm detecting something interesting. When we damage one of their ships, the others slow down to help it. They're not used to losing anyone." Jake thought about this. On Earth, human militaries had learned to accept losses in order to win battles. But these aliens seemed to treat every ship like it was too valuable to lose. "Lisa, can you use that against them?" "I think so, sir. If I damage a ship but don't destroy it, the others will try to rescue it. That will slow them down and split up their formation." The Liberty's Edge darted toward another alien ship. This time, instead of using mines, Tony fired their plasma cannons at the ship's sensor array. The shots didn't destroy the vessel, but they blinded it. Just as Dr. Barnes had predicted, 2 other alien ships immediately moved to protect their damaged companion. This left gaps in their formation that Lisa could fly through. "It's working," Amy said. "They're getting frustrated. One of them just called us impossible to kill." But Jake knew they couldn't keep this up forever. Their ship was small and fast, but it couldn't fight 12 enemies at once indefinitely. "Tony, how are our systems holding up?" "Shields are at 60%, weapons are fine, engines are running hot but still good." "And theirs?" Dr. Barnes checked his sensors. "We've disabled 4 of their ships completely. 3 more have damage that's slowing them down, but the other 5 are still fully operational." Admiral Zextar's voice came over the radio again, but this time he sounded different. Less angry, more worried. "Human ship, what are you? How do you fight like this?" Jake looked at his crew. They were tired but still ready to keep fighting. "Amy, send this message. We're explorers who don't like bullies and we're just getting started." The response came back quickly. "This is impossible. One small ship cannot defeat a Corvin battle fleet." "Tell him he's about to learn something new," Jake said. Far away on the Corvin homeworld, Emperor Vakneth sat on his crystal throne in the Great War Room. The walls were covered with displays showing every battle fleet in the Empire. For 3,000 years, these displays had only shown victories. Today was different. General Mortok rushed into the room, his heavy footsteps echoing off the stone floor. "My Emperor, we have received disturbing news from the Outer Rim." Emperor Vakneth was tall even for a Corvin, with dark armor-like skin and glowing yellow eyes. "Speak quickly, General." "Admiral Zextar's fleet has encountered an unknown species called humans. A single human ship has disabled half of our vessels." The Emperor stood up slowly. His voice was deadly quiet. "What did you say?" "The humans fight unlike anyone we have ever encountered. They do not follow proper battle tactics. Their ship moves in ways that should not be possible." Strategic Advisor Cassara stepped forward. She was smaller than the other Corvin, but her mind was sharp as a blade. "My Emperor, I have been analyzing the battle reports. These humans appear to use chaos as a weapon." "Chaos is not a weapon," the Emperor said. "Order defeats chaos. Strength defeats weakness. This is the way of the universe." "But my Emperor," General Mortok said carefully, "Admiral Zextar is one of our best commanders. He has never been defeated." Emperor Vakneth walked to the great window that looked out over his capital city. Millions of Corvin went about their daily lives, secure in the knowledge that their empire was the strongest force in the galaxy. How many ships does this human vessel have supporting it? According to Admiral Zextar, there is only one ship. The Emperor turned around, his eyes blazing with anger. One ship? One single ship is fighting 12 of our heavy cruisers? Yes, my Emperor. This is impossible. Our technology is superior. Our tactics have been perfected over centuries of conquest. No species has ever resisted us successfully. Kesara spoke again. My Emperor, perhaps that is the problem. We have not faced real resistance in over 1,000 years. Our enemies have always been weaker than us. They always surrendered quickly. Are you suggesting our military has grown soft? The Emperor's voice was dangerous. Not soft, my Emperor, but perhaps predictable. The humans do not know our power, so they do not fear us. They fight as if they believe they can win. General Mortak nodded slowly. The humans use weapons we have never seen before. Small explosives that attach to our ships, energy beams that disable our computers, and their ship moves like a living creature, not a machine. On board the Liberty's Edge, the crew was working harder than they ever had before. They had been fighting for 2 hours, and the stress was showing on all of them. Dr. Barnes wiped sweat from his forehead as he studied the alien ship patterns. Captain, I think I understand how their empire works. These ships are not just military vessels. They're symbols of power. What do you mean? Jake asked. Look at how they're built. They're huge and impressive, but not very practical for real fighting. They're meant to scare enemies into surrendering without a battle. Amy looked up from her station. That makes sense. I've been listening to their communications. They keep talking about proper submission and natural order. They think weaker species should just give up when they see Corvin ships. But we didn't give up, Lisa said as she dodged another plasma blast. And now they don't know what to do. Tony was monitoring their ship's systems. Captain, we're doing okay, but we can't keep this up forever. Our energy reserves are getting low. Jake thought about their situation. They had proven that humans could fight the Corvin, but they were still just one ship against an empire. Even if they defeated this fleet, more would come. Amy, can you set up a communication link to Earth? It will take a few minutes to establish a connection over this distance, but yes, sir. Do it. We need to let Earth know what we've found out here. While Amy worked on the communication link, the battle continued. The Liberty's Edge had disabled 8 of the 12 alien ships, but the remaining 4 were being more careful now. They had learned that humans were dangerous. Admiral Zextar tried a new tactic. Instead of chasing the human ship, he ordered his remaining vessels to form a tight defensive circle and wait for the humans to attack them. He's learning, Dr. Barnes observed. They're not being careless anymore. Captain, Amy said, I have a connection to Earth Command. Put it through. The voice of Admiral Patricia Hayes came through clearly despite the vast distance. Jake, what's your status? We lost contact with you 6 hours ago. Admiral, we've made first contact with an alien empire called the Corvin. They attacked us without warning. We're currently in battle with 12 of their ships. There was silence for several seconds. Did you say you're fighting 12 alien warships? Yes, ma'am, and we're winning. Jake, you're an exploration vessel, not a battleship. How is that possible? Dr. Barnes leaned over to the communication panel. Admiral Hayes, this is Dr. Barnes. These aliens have been so powerful for so long that they've forgotten how to fight a real war. They expect enemies to surrender immediately. What do you need from us? Jake thought carefully. Admiral, this empire spans hundreds of worlds. If we retreat, they might follow us back to Earth. But if we stay and fight, eventually they'll send more ships than we can handle. Understood. Jake, I want you to know that Dr. Blake's team has been working on some new ship designs based on your mission reports. We may have some surprises for these Corvin. What kind of surprises? The kind that levels the playing field. Hold your position if you can. Help is coming. The connection ended and Jake looked at his crew. They were tired but still determined. You heard the Admiral, he said. We need to hold on a little longer. Captain, Dr. Barnes said, I have an idea. Instead of just fighting these ships, what if we try to talk to them again? But this time from a position of strength. What do you mean? We've proven that we can fight. Now maybe we can make them think about why they're fighting. Jake nodded. Amy, open a channel to Admiral Zextar. The alien commander's face appeared on their screen. He looked tired and confused. What do you want, human? I want to ask you a question, Admiral. Why are you trying to destroy us? Because you entered Corvin space without permission. But we didn't know it was your space. We're explorers, not invaders. Why didn't you just ask us to leave? Admiral Zextar was quiet for a moment. Because that is not how the Empire works. Inferior species must submit to superior ones. This is the natural order. But Admiral, Jake said calmly, we're not inferior. We've disabled most of your fleet. Maybe it's time to think about a new order. Emperor Vakneth paced back and forth in his war room like a caged animal. The reports coming in from Admiral Zextar were getting worse by the hour. The humans want to talk? He roared. They defeat our ships and then want to have a conversation? This is madness. General Mortak stood at attention, but his voice was worried. My Emperor, Admiral Zextar believes the humans might be telling the truth about being explorers. They could have destroyed his remaining ships, but they chose not to. It doesn't matter what they are, the Emperor shouted. They have humiliated the Corvin Empire in front of the entire galaxy. If word of this defeat spreads, our enemies will think we are weak. Kassara spoke carefully. My Emperor, our empire, controls over 400 worlds. Many of those worlds serve us only because they fear our power. If they learn that a single unknown ship defeated our fleet. She didn't need to finish the sentence. Emperor Vakneth understood the problem. The Corvin Empire was built on fear. If that fear disappeared, the Empire would fall apart. Summon Fleet Commander Rathel, the Emperor ordered. Tell him to take the 3rd Battle Fleet to the Outer Rim. 50 ships should be enough to destroy one human vessel. My Emperor, General, Mortak said, perhaps we should try talking to these humans first. If they truly are explorers, maybe we can reach an agreement. Emperor Vakneth's eyes glowed with fury. No, the Empire does not negotiate with inferior species. We conquer them or we destroy them. There is no other way. Meanwhile, the Liberty's Edge continued to circle the remaining Corvin ships. The battle had reached a strange pause. Neither side was shooting, but both were ready to fight at any moment. Captain, Dr. Barnes said, I'm detecting new ships approaching. A lot of them. Jake felt his heart sink. How many? 50 ships, sir. Much larger than the ones we've been fighting. Lisa Carter looked at her navigation display. They'll be here in 2 hours. Jake turned to his crew. They had fought bravely, but 50 ships was impossible even for them. Ideas? Tony Rodriguez was checking their weapon supplies. We're down to our last few mines. Energy weapons are at 30% power. If we run the engines much longer at this speed, they'll burn out. Amy Walsh suddenly looked up from her communications station with excitement. Captain, I'm getting a message from Earth. It's Admiral Hayes. Put her through. Admiral Hayes's voice filled the bridge. Jake, Fleet Commander Lisa Park is about to arrive at your position with 8 ships. These aren't exploration vessels like yours. They're the new Earth Defense Force ships that Dr. Blake designed. 8 ships against 50, Jake said. The odds are still pretty bad. These aren't ordinary ships, Jake. Dr. Blake built them using everything we learned from your battle reports. They're specifically designed to fight enemies like the Corvin. Before Jake could respond, space around them began to shimmer. 8 human ships appeared as if from nowhere, their quantum fold drives creating small distortions in space-time dot. The lead ship was sleek and fast-looking, painted dark blue with Earth's flag on its hull. Liberty's Edge, this is Captain Lisa. Park of the Earth Defense Ship Defiant Star. Sorry we're late to the party. Jake smiled for the first time in hours. Captain Park, you have perfect timing. We have 50 enemy ships incoming. We know. We've been monitoring your communications. Jake, you and your crew have done something amazing here. You've shown these aliens that humans don't back down from bullies. The other Earth ships spread out in a defensive formation around the Liberty's edge. Each ship was different, designed for a specific type of combat. Some were fast like fighters, others were heavily armed like destroyers. Admiral Zextar watched the human reinforcements arrive, and his voice came over the radio. More human ships, how many of you are there? Captain Park answered him. Admiral, we're from Earth, the human homeworld. We have thousands of ships and billions of people, but we don't want to fight you. We want to find a peaceful solution. Peaceful? Admiral Zextar sounded confused. You have defeated most of my fleet. Why would you offer peace? Because, Captain Park said, humans believe that everyone deserves a chance to choose peace over war. The 50 Corvin ships arrived exactly when Dr. Barnes had predicted. They were massive, each one the size of a small city. Their leader was Fleet Commander Rathul, a veteran warrior who had never lost a battle in his entire career. Human vessels, his voice boomed over the radio. I am Fleet Commander Rathul of the 3rd Battle Fleet. You will surrender immediately or face total destruction. Captain Park's response was calm and confident. Fleet Commander, we are the Earth Defense Force. We're here to protect our people and talk about peace. We don't want to fight you, but we will if we have to. Peace? Fleet Commander Rathul laughed, but it didn't sound happy. The Corvin Empire does not make peace with insects. Prepare to die. The Corvin fleet opened fire with everything they had. Hundreds of plasma beams and energy missiles filled the space between the two fleets. But the human ships were ready. Instead of staying still like traditional warships, the Earth Defense Force vessels moved like a swarm of angry bees. They flew in patterns that seemed random, but were actually carefully coordinated. Some ships would attack while others defended. Then they would switch roles. The Corvin had never seen anything like it. Their targeting computers couldn't lock onto the human ships. Their massive weapons were too slow to track the fast-moving targets. Dr. Barnes, watching from the Liberty's edge, was amazed. Captain, look at this. The Earth ships are sharing information in real time. When one ship learns something about the enemy, all the others know it instantly. Tony Rodriguez was studying the new human weapons. They're using adaptive technology. The weapons actually change their frequency and power based on what kind of target they're hitting. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The human ships fought like a pack of wolves working together to bring down much larger prey. When a Corvin ship focused on one human vessel, 2 others would attack it from different angles. Fleet Commander Rathul tried every tactic he knew, but nothing worked. The humans seemed to predict his every move and counter it perfectly. How are they doing this? He demanded of his tactical officer. Sir, they appear to be learning from our attacks and adapting their defenses in real time. Every time we try a new strategy, they develop a counter-strategy within minutes. After 3 hours of fighting, Fleet Commander Rathul had lost 20 ships and hadn't destroyed a single human vessel. Some of the Earth ships had damage, but they were all still fighting. For the first time in his military career, Fleet Commander Rathul began to think he might lose a battle. The thought scared him more than death. Fleet Commander Rathul stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 20 of his ships were destroyed or disabled, and the humans had lost none. His remaining 30 ships were damaged and running low on energy. Sir, his tactical officer said, quietly, our weapons are having no effect. The human ships adapt to every attack we make. This is impossible, Rathul said, but his voice lacked its earlier confidence. No species has ever defeated the Corvin Empire in open battle. Captain Lisa Park's voice came over the communication channel. Fleet Commander Rathul, this doesn't have to continue. We're willing to stop fighting and talk. Rathul was an old warrior. He had fought in hundreds of battles and won them all. But he was also smart enough to recognize when he was beaten. What do you want to talk about, human? About finding a way for our peoples to coexist. About ending this war before more lives are lost. Rathul looked around his bridge. His crew members were tired and scared. Many of them had never seen Corvin. ships lose a battle before. You would spare my fleet? If you're willing to listen, yes. For several long minutes, space was quiet except for the hum of ship engines. Finally, Rathol made a decision that would change history. All Corvan ships, cease fire. Human commander, I am willing to hear your words. On the Corvan homeworld, Emperor Vaknith received the news in stunned silence. General Mortok and Kessara stood nearby, both afraid to speak. Rathol has requested a ceasefire, the Emperor said slowly. Yes, my Emperor. He reports that the human ships are too advanced to defeat with conventional tactics. Emperor Vaknith felt something he had never experienced before. Doubt. For 3,000 years, Corvan strength had been absolute. Now, in the span of a single day, that certainty was crumbling. My Emperor, Kessara said carefully. Perhaps this is an opportunity rather than a disaster. Explain. Our empire faces many problems. Rebellions on the outer worlds, resource shortages, technical challenges we cannot solve. What if these humans could help us instead of fighting us? General Mortok nodded. The humans fight unlike anyone we have ever encountered. Their technology adapts and learns. If we could understand how they do this, you're suggesting we ally with them? Emperor Vakneth's voice was dangerous. I'm suggesting we listen to them, Kessara replied. If they truly wanted to destroy us, they could have done so. Instead, they offer to talk. A new voice entered the conversation. Maybe you should take that offer. The three Corvan turned to see a human woman walking into the war room. She was tall and confident, with gray hair and kind eyes. Two human guards walked beside her, but their weapons were holstered. How did you get here? General Mortok demanded, reaching for his weapon. We transported down from our ship, the woman said calmly. I'm Ambassador Dr. Rachel Stone from Earth. I came here to talk to Emperor Vaknith. This is impossible, the Emperor said. Our planetary defenses would have detected any ship approaching. Dr. Stone smiled. Your defenses are very good, but they're designed to detect Corvan-style ships. Ours work differently. Emperor Vaknith studied the human woman. She showed no fear, even though she was surrounded by aliens who could kill her easily. What do you want, human? I want to prevent a war that would hurt both our peoples. Your empire is strong, but it's also in trouble. Many of your subject worlds are unhappy. Your technology has stopped advancing. Your people are afraid of change. How do you know this? Because we've been listening to your communications and studying your society. We know that you rule through fear. But fear only works if people believe you're invincible. After today, that belief is broken. Emperor Vaknith's eyes blazed with anger. Are you threatening me? No, Dr. Stone said. I'm offering you a choice. You can try to rebuild your empire on fear and domination, which will eventually fail. Or you can try something new. What are you proposing? Dr. Stone gestured to a holographic display that appeared between them. It showed star maps of both human and Corvan space. Partnership. Your empire has resources and knowledge that we need. We have technology and ideas that could solve your problems. Humans and Corvan working together? General Mortok sounded skeptical. Why not? Your people are strong and proud warriors. Our people are innovative and adaptable. Together we could explore parts of the galaxy that neither of us could reach alone. Kessara stepped forward. What would this partnership look like? Joint exploration missions, technology exchange, mutual defense agreements, each species keeping their own government and culture, but cooperating on common goals. Emperor Vaknith was quiet for a long time. Everything in his culture told him that the strong should rule the weak. But these humans had proven they weren't weak. And if I refuse this offer, Dr. Stone's expression became serious. Then Earth will defend itself. We won't attack your empire, but we won't let you attack us either. And your subject worlds will see that the Corvan Empire can be defeated. How long do you think your empire will last after that? Meanwhile, in space near the battle site, an amazing thing was happening. Human and Corvan engineers were working together to repair damaged ships. Captain Jake Morrison found himself talking with Admiral Zextar about their different cultures. "Your people fight with such creativity," Admiral Zextar said. "We have never encountered anything like it." "We had to learn to be creative," Jake replied. "Earth is a dangerous world, and humans spent thousands of years fighting each other. We got good at finding new ways to solve problems. And now you offer to teach us these ways? We offer to learn from each other. Your people have built an empire that lasted 3,000 years. That takes skills we don't have." Dr. Barnes was working with Corvan scientists, sharing information about their different technologies. "This is fascinating," he told Captain Park. "They use completely different principles than we do, but their science is just as advanced as ours in some areas." Tony Rodriguez was helping Corvan engineers repair their damaged ships. "Their technology is incredibly reliable," he told Lisa Carter. "Our ships are more adaptable, but theirs last longer." After several hours of discussion, Emperor Vaknath made his decision. He opened a communication channel to the human ambassador. "Dr. Stone, I have decided to accept your proposal for partnership, but I have conditions." "What conditions?" "This alliance will be between equals. The Corvan Empire will not bow to Earth, and Earth will not bow to the Corvan Empire." "Agreed. Both sides will maintain their own military forces, but we will coordinate our defenses against external threats." "That makes sense. And we will start small. Joint exploration missions to neutral space, technology exchanges between our scientists, cultural exchanges to help our peoples understand each other." Dr. Stone smiled. "Emperor Vaknath, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship." 6 months later, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Liberty's Edge. But this time he wasn't alone. Admiral Zextar stood beside him as they watched the first joint human-Corvan exploration fleet prepare to launch. "Ready to explore the unknown together, Admiral?" Jake asked. Zex *S mandibles clicked, and what Jake had learned was a Corvan smile. "Ready, Captain. I am curious to see what we will discover when human creativity meets Corvan strength." Behind them, the crews of both species worked side by side, learning from each other and preparing for adventures among the stars. The galaxy was about to become a much more interesting place.